Jersey sound. Be easy. Yeah. Sauce. They ain't got no sauce. They ain't got no sauce. Fuckboy move a couch. They ain't got no sauce. They ain't got no sauce. Fuckboy gon' get lost.
Alright. Be still. Close your eyes. And know that we're going at 18 miles per second on a big ass rock, hurtling through space and time. You are special. You are an anomaly in the infinity of the universe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the blunt of reality. I'm one of the hosts of the Blunt of Reality. They call me Desaline. And I'm here with...
This is Pharaoh. You already know. What's going on, everybody? Peace.
What's going on, man? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. You know, we got a pretty couple interesting topics to speak about today.
All right.
I'm actually pretty excited. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, what was you trying to get to on it?
Milo Festa. But, all right, look, yo. Today's topic is a pretty interesting one. We're speaking on these genetically modified mosquitoes that are running rampant in the United States, man. Yo, How do you feel about that?
I think I got fucked up from some mosquitoes myself recently, and I feel like it's wrong for me to just be like, oh yeah, it's me, it's only me. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds like it's everybody around the country. What you said, like
actually,
Florida?
there's a few states right now. You've got Texas, you've got Florida, Keys, who are getting dramatically affected by this epidemic. I would call it an epidemic.
That shit sounds crazy.
It does sound crazy. It's kind of scary because there's about 750 million genetically modified mosquitoes.
Yo, let me break it down real quick, man.
Yeah, talk to me.
So you're talking about genetically modifying insects that literally not only, you feel me, suck your blood out, of course, but they also put stuff inside of you as far as poison or whatever it may be. So when you genetically modifying mosquitoes, isn't it possible that you could be changing up what's inside of them unwillingly, unknowingly?
See, the thing is, I feel like humans, in efforts to combat certain diseases, like humans, we have this ability to try to play God for some reason, right? And most of the time,
mad scientists.
Yeah,
ever since Project Paperclip, mad scientists have been doing that. That's a fact.
Yeah, so like we get into this obsession of trying to play God, and a lot of the times it comes back and it backfires on us. You've got cases of malaria in Texas, Florida, and to be honest, I find it interesting because with these new projects that are being brought forth right now into society with certain philanthropists, right, who are behind some of these projects, and quite frankly, I think it's backfiring. To be honest with you, bro.
So for those of you who don't know what malaria is, I wanted to get an exact definition on it too to understand what might be the side effects and stuff like that. That's important information to know. So malaria is a disease caused by a parasite. The parasite is spread to a human through bites of infected mosquitoes. People who have malaria usually feel very sick with a high fever and shaking chills. While the disease is uncommon in temperate climates, malaria is still common in tropical and subtropical countries. Now, that's where it's supposed to be at. When they talk about tropical countries, Haiti used to have that. I think that was how a lot of them got wiped out. That's how they actually got their independence. There was a large portion French soldiers or European soldiers who
About
died.
30,000.
Yeah, who died off of mosquito disease, like biting them and diseases. Now, the black people during that time, they were immune. They had an immunity to it, maybe because they've been around them longer, or they just built up an immunity.
Different types of different reasons.
Yeah. So that's how serious it is. It contributed to one of the first independent black countries in the world. And who was it? Bill Gates, who's doing that too. Mm-hmm. So Bill Gates is the one who's his whole family, first of all, funded whatchamacallit? What's the name of that facility? I just went through I had a mind blank. You know what I'm talking about too. You just making me.
No, I'm not.
Planned Parenthood. Mm-hmm. So his family, basically, they were in the beginning stages. So basically, his father and his mother, whole family, they believe that the world is too populated. Basically, too populated. So they took however many billion dollars and gave it to Planned Parenthood. So their whole thing is, the world is too populated. Mm-hmm. So now you have Bill Gates, who basically believes the same shit. And now they gave him permission to work on mosquitoes, genetically modifying the mosquitoes, who can possibly also put the vaccine into you if they wanted to. I think that's one of the experiments that they're trying right there, like trying to do it low key.
So you seen that video in Cali when they're releasing mosquitoes in the sky?
Bro, they said they did it in Baltimore too.
Yeah, even in Baltimore, it was in June 2023. They were having a festival, right? And during the festival, the people were actually recording helicopters dropping mosquitoes down on the civilians there.
And of course, it was a black event. Number of black people was there. Mm-hmm. What was that in Cali? What they was talking about?
Yeah, it was just people looking at the helicopters, like two of them just spinning around in circles. You can see mad mosquitoes. It just looked like a bunch of them. They just dispersing everywhere like roaches in the sky.
That's disgusting. Y'all remember when the New Yorkers was posting stuff like, where are these bugs coming from? In New York, they had like a whole swarm of these, but they weren't mosquitoes. It was just a whole bunch of bugs and stuff like that.
I think those are efforts just to get people to stay indoors, bro. Like, I think they're preparing for people to get more accustomed to staying indoors. Because you got to think, right? Vitamin D plays a huge part in immunity.
Yeah, most definitely.
If less people are outside during the summer, that means during the times when winter is approaching, your vitamin D levels won't be sufficient enough to combat certain diseases, right? So obviously vitamin C plays a huge part as well, but vitamin D specifically plays a tremendous part in your immune system, bro. So not to be a conspiracy theorist, but to be a conspiracy theorist, I believe those are efforts in staying indoors, man, because now, COVID-19 is about to run rampant again. There's like a new strand of COVID-19.
Yeah, they're saying that it's going to happen again. And I heard there's something else that they're going to be testing. Should I even bring that up? Remember the video I sent you of this guy who was talking about how there are actually microscopic triggers in some people's blood that can be activated by 5G radio waves? That can activate literally a new disease. It sounds like science. It sounds like sci-fi, but I'm like, I believe that shit could happen, bro. I watched Fringe. The amount of shit that I seen in Fringe, bro. Yeah. Remember I showed you?
Yeah, I watched.
I watched every episode. All of it is science fiction. No, they all had a base in science. They've always been experimented on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think it's definitely possible. But besides that, you said it earlier, I feel like we're being attacked from a whole bunch of different angles.
Yeah, we are.
Several different angles.
See, at this point, right, in society, at this point in time in history, right, I believe that we should just go back to traditional ways of health. Like, we have all these, Like if
Natural.
like we have all these
Natural, yeah.
vaccines, and I'm not saying that I'm against all vaccines, right? Because that would be kind of stupid of me to say that I'm against all vaccines. But there's different ways of protecting yourself against certain diseases. So it all goes back to natural remedies, right? So we have to at least take some type of responsibility for our own selves. Like we can't base our health and put it in the hands of solely doctors and scientists, because history will repeat itself.
Yeah, it's been repeating itself. So
Yeah.
I completely believe in what you're saying, because when you put your trust in these doctors, it's okay to do that, right? But you need to do your own research at the same
Yes.
time. Get different opinions. Talk to holistic doctors.
Facts.
Talk to people who use natural remedies before you use these man-made chemicals, man-made medicines. Like one of the best things, I'm gonna bring it up too, when it came to Dr. Sebi and how he was in court. They said he was a liar.
Okay,
they gave him the pay.
Can I speak on him real fast? I don't
Yeah,
mean to
yeah, of
interrupt
course,
you.
but I wanted
Go
to just
ahead.
get this off real quick.
Yeah.
He was literally in court, and they was like, all right, you're in people with cancer. They gave him 50 patients. Guess what happened to those 50 patients? All of them were cured. Case was dismissed immediately. You think they talk about that in the medical community? As far as when it comes to the media, nah, because it's too dangerous. Pharmaceutical industry will not like that. Why? Because he used natural remedies. He understood that everything that we needed came from naturally the earth. He didn't believe in no genetically modified vegetables. He didn't believe in no genetic poison to be pumped into your body. He was a spiritualist. He's like, yo, look, listen, do this, drink this water, and it all worked. And a lot of people are doing it, and it really does work. But when you're exposed to different things, it's even getting harder for people who do things naturally. But people who do things naturally, their immune system is too strong for anything on the outside to fuck them up. Whether it comes to mosquitoes, Burger King, or any other BS.
So for the people who don't know who Dr. Sebi is, his name is actually Alfredo Bowman, right? He's a Honduran self-proclaimed herbalist healer, but we all know that he actually, because he actually cured a whole bunch of diseases. What to say right here? He claimed to cure diseases with herbs and plant-based alkaline diets and various they call it pseudoscience. You feel me? But we know now today there's hundreds of people right now who are curing themselves of diseases that scientists are saying that are uncurable, or they don't have a cure necessarily at the moment for these so-called diseases. And even superstars like Left Eye, she was literally, she believed in this man wholeheartedly. He cured her herpes. She had sickle cell, if I'm not mistaken. She also suffered from anxiety. So don't believe me. You feel me? Do your own research at the end of the day. You feel me? You got to do your own research. You can't just listen to what we're saying.
You got to do your own research.
At one point, you have to sit there and take a stance and just do your own research and don't take what we're saying verbatim.
And side conspiracy, real quick. Side conspiracy. So the way by which he died in the hospital, some would say old age. His kin, the people, I believe it was his daughter or son, came to I believe the Breakfast Club.
No, he actually died in his in the prison cell, didn't he?
Nah, he didn't die in a prison cell.
You sure?
Yeah. Look it up though. Fact check. Nah, real talk. This is because this is what his daughter was talking about. Like, he was on a hospital bed.
Okay.
And he died. And people were asking like, yo, was he taken out? You get what I'm saying? People were asking.
He died of pneumonia, right? It was something like that. Let me look it up
something
real
like
quick.
that. You get what I'm saying? Apparently it was something natural. And even the daughter was like, nah, it was nothing crazy. Nobody had nothing to do with his death. So you gotta take her word for it. Or maybe she was told.
Even while he was in the prison, because like they arrested him with like $30,000 cash on him.
Where was he arrested at?
I may be wrong, but I think it was his home country, which is Honduras. They locked him up in Honduras with $30,000 cash on him, and throughout his time in prison, I believe he refused to eat and drink water. So he, from the rip, automatically already assumed they were out to kill him. Mm-hmm. Right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to starve yourself for no reason. I mean, if you truly believe, some of these things are poisonous, at the end of the day...
You was right. He died in the custody of Honduran jailers. Mm-hmm. So he was in a hospital, but at the time he was locked up. I don't know for what, though.
I told you they arrested him with $30,000 cash on him, and that was the means. Okay, so what do you mean?
They got laws against that over there?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know I'm just letting you know what it was. So they grabbed him up. He had $30,000 cash on him. Like, all right, look, come on, we gotta take you into custody real quick. You feel what I'm saying? Now,
I wholeheartedly believe CIA has something to do with this, bro. I'm sorry. It's not gonna be released until like 100 years, but I wholeheartedly believe CIA. But you know how many deaths that are in our history books that they died of this. Mm-hmm. But in reality, there was some organization that had to do with it. I'm not saying it's always the U.S. Sometimes it could be British intelligence. Sometimes it could be Russian intelligence.
But let's be realistic. Yeah. For Americans, I don't see why British intelligence or German intelligence or Russian intelligence would have interest in someone who is specifically targeting like the American people and trying to make them aware of certain things. I feel like it would most likely be CIA, like even with Bob Marley, not to get too sidetracked, right? Yeah. There were CIA agents who came forth on their deathbeds and proclaimed to have participated in involvement with his death, right? And that was after his death. It wasn't during the time that he was alive. Obviously, it's not going to because he was dead after. But, they're going to tell you this when everybody's distracted, and they'll just put a little article out like that while everyone's distracted.
Here's what I'm not disagreeing with you, but here's where we clash, right? Because you're right, and we could both be right. So the CIA could have been involved in that and in Dr. Sebi's death, allegedly. Or, right?
Yeah.
It seems that way, right? But it's really pharmaceutical industry. Because you have to understand this, right? There are branches of companies, right? This is going to get scary because now I'm going to get into some shit that's something completely different. But I'm going to try to sum it up. There are branches of companies that are more powerful than certain branches of government. What do I mean by that?
Okay, explain a little.
This is what I mean.
Okay.
There are companies that have access to technology that certain branches of government don't even have. You ever heard of independent contractors?
Yeah.
There are military independent contractors, right? Mm-hmm. That companies, let's say a company has $1 trillion, they're capable of hiring independent military contractors to go 100%. Anywhere in the fucking world 100%. To do whatever they want to whoever they want, whether it be something small, something big, but they know the biggest thing that they pay for is what? Discrepancy. And there was a military, there was a person in the army who came forward. He was a whistleblower. He was afraid to come forward because he was in a third world country. He was there trying to help the population. Nighttime, he's with his fleet. He goes in there. He's like, yo, we gotta check this thing over here. They went over there. They saw a UFO. They was like, yo, this is a UFO. And people think he's lying. Like, nah. Like, I had 3 other people who agree with me. That's what we had. Then other dudes, an all black humans too. Humans. Hey, put your fucking guns down. Give me your guns. Turn around. Made them go back to their peoples and shit like that, right? Meanwhile, they had this whole side mission that they was doing, but they weren't part of the American government. But they had American accents. They had the same movements and shit like that. So they were clearly probably one day a part of, a military, but then they got hired privately as an all-black operation.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit crazy,
no, it
but it
doesn't
makes
sound crazy
sense.
at all.
It makes sense because when you have these companies who lasted all these years, bro, privately, they're gonna want to do things that are outside the law.
That's true. And also on top of that, some of these people who actually work for these pharmaceutical companies can be in the CIA. They can be implanted within that pharmaceutical company.
There were FBI agents on Twitter. I mean, it's just.
I wouldn't even be surprised. Like to get too off track, I wouldn't even be surprised if there's CIA agents in Hollywood. Come on, that is like, that's something that I would believe too.
No, of course, there definitely is. You gotta understand, people, a population of people are easily controlled from visual representations, as we can tell with that whole agenda shit. I don't want to bring that up right now, but you know what they're doing as far as the TV and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not hard for them now. Is it could it be a part of the government that's doing it? I mean, yeah, most definitely. Because Hollywood, they have a certain level of control, and there's different steps to it and all of that.
Even like I don't know if you remember. Do you remember that video we watched where they were saying that CIA agents were actually getting information on how to make even like mask? Like, you ever seen that video?
You showed me that. Yeah, we was talking about it before, where people believe that Joe Biden has a mask on with that wrinkle shit. They even have this little clip of Kamala Harris having a mask on or whatever. Yeah, like those realistic masks, they exist. They exist, bro. Like
Human flesh, right?
human flesh masks.
Yo, that shit is scary,
Yeah,
bro.
they have masks like that you can buy online. You can
Think
go
about
rob
this,
somebody.
right?
It was a white dude. He had a black face on. He had gloves.
I seen that.
He was like, oh, it was a black man. Like, nah, it was somebody white in a mask, and he got that off.
Think about this, right?
That
If
shit
they
crazy.
can, if they can sample DNA, they can get DNA samples, right? Don't you think that they would be able to make some form of like synthetic mask using actual human skin, where they graft it? Does that sound unrealistic?
No, it doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound unrealistic.
Huh?
They was made from black people's skin, right?
What?
Leather shoes,
Yeah.
church shoes.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
What'd you say? So back in the day, during the time where they didn't give a fuck about black people.
1800s, black, like the brown leather shoes that the white people wore,
Fucking.
made out of African skin or slave skin.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Skin them, they would pasteurize it, they would like age it, and then they would make it to a shoe. Crazy.
And now we just use crocodile skin. Like, think about it. If we could use crocodile skin for leather, right? Because am I wrong? If there's crocodile shoes, right? If you can use crocodiles, why wouldn't you use a human skin?
Can I? Because I got something else that I wanted to bring up too. So there was a study that was done. I know this is gonna seem random as hell. That on hot dogs. I know it's random. Follow
You
me.
glizzy eaters, pay attention.
Human DNA
Oh man.
was found in about 2% of the hot dogs when they did this study. So they did a study where they was just testing a whole bunch of hot dogs. They found 2% had human DNA.
That's for flavor. You know you gotta throw the flavor in there. That's that's the sugar and spice. You feel me? Real nigga shit.
That's human adobo, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. Look, that's to enhance the flavor of the hot dogs, bro.
But what
Really,
what part
nigga?
of the human
It don't
DNA?
matter.
What part?
Human zozo in there.
Nah, that you can't use human foreskin because there's different methods you're wasting it. Cause don't they use that with the endocrine shit? Like they use human baby foreskin. You ever watch that?
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy,
Ellen,
bro.
what's her name? Ellen, the white woman. She's got her
Yeah,
own.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
She was interviewing someone who was speaking about how there was some country that basically uses human foreskin in the cream to make their skin look younger.
Nah,
It's
why
weird.
would you waste that shit on hot dogs? Nah, we trying to stay young.
That's too wild.
So they
bro.
probably using different body
Chill.
parts. But the thing is like, that would make sense, bro, considering how many people are kidnapped a year in America. But that's a different story. We're not going to get into that topic right now.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's
But to stay on topic, you know what I mean?
But to bring it back to Bill Gates, and his piece of shit ass, I can't believe that there are people on this planet. There are people on this planet that actually believe that we are overpopulated, right? Mm-hmm. And it's scary, bro, because you're talking about these are real life villains. That means that because you can't, if you have a certain amount of money, I want you to do stuff in a crease. You gotta say things like that in private, because you have the power now to do exactly what you want to do, which is what your main goal is. What? To decrease the population.
And can I just piggyback off you real quick? We have these so-called philanthropists, right?
Yeah.
Who are interested in reducing the world's population, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, for whatever purpose that they have, right?
Right.
But then you have these same people who are for vaccines on saving lives. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. How am I
actually it makes sense if you're an evil genius. Hold on, wait. It makes sense.
Okay.
If you're an evil genius, it makes sense. You got a disease. You got a vaccine. Boop. All right, cool. 10 years later, yo, why my nut not working? A woman, I can't have children? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unknowingly, that they just got what do you call when you make sure someone can't have babies anymore? What's
sterilized?
You're sterilizing an entire population.
Mm-hmm. And Bill Gates he's been accused of sterilizing certain tribes in Africa with certain vaccines. It is an emotional topic because you have all these influential people with tons of money, tons of power, tons of time, like us, like the everyday human that's walking around, right? We don't have enough time to basically plan certain things and do them.
Yeah.
Right? We only have a certain amount of time where we can actually live out certain of our plans. You get what I'm saying? So these guys, they bought all their time back. They have all the money in the world. And on top of that, they have a hatred. They're full of hatred that you can't even possibly fathom. Right? So, like you said, evil geniuses. You feel me?
Evil geniuses, man. Evil geniuses.
It's something to be afraid about, man. And on top of that, these guys are moving like they're untouchable. Shit, this motherfucker probably got a clone of himself.
Bro, like
I would.
You got enough money, he probably got something sitting in a pod somewhere or whatever.
I wouldn't even send, to be honest, I would stay underground. And I would have my clones just push my missions out.
Wreak havoc.
Yeah. First off, and on top of that, I would be controlling every single one of them. They'd probably be like some enhanced AI, synthetic human. Nah, seriously, because I'd be like Batman. I'd be like Batman, right?
Another movie idea.
I'd be in my bat cave.
Yeah.
And remember in Batman Dark Knight where Lucius, he had access to all those cameras and shit like that. That's how I'd be like Lucius, but Batman, but Bill Gates, evil counterpart.
I wish there was somebody like that. They probably had somebody in the cut.
Describe Lex Luthor, bro.
For real.
Facts.
For real.
That is
real.
So that's who I'd be. I'd be Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor Gates.
The black Lex Luthor, not the other.
Lex Luthor Gates. That's my name now.
Nah, but it's crazy. I want to end it on a positive note, though, man. I feel like we talked mad negative stuff.
We did talk a lot. Okay.
A lot of negative stuff. So on a positive end, what can people do? You know what I mean, to end it all, to offset mosquitoes. I don't even know how to.
I would say first, like, let's focus on your health, bro.
Yeah.
Like, focus on getting the most optimal health possible. Stop eating processed food. Go more plant-based and not vegan. Not vegan, because vegan food is not healthy at all.
Right.
You want a plant-based whole food diet. Mostly, you can cook your food, because saying not to cook your food is unrealistic for Americans especially, but you want to eat a lot of your foods raw. Like, if you have some cooked food, have some uncooked food like onions, avocados, tomatoes. You don't have to cook these things. Like, you can, but have some that are uncooked. You feel me? Because when you eat cooked food, your immune system has an automatic response to that.
Which food has the highest vitamin D?
Vitamin D, the sun. Go the fuck outside.
That's a fact.
Go eat your food outside, which is vitamin D, bro, from the sun. That's the source. You feel what I'm saying?
So you saying to offset all of this, all I gotta do is have picnics?
They ain't got no sauce. They ain't got no sauce. Fuckboy move with cows. They ain't got no sauce. They ain't got no sauce. Fuckboy gon' get lost.